Let's move on to other very interesting matters as well. Check this out. This one is really mind blowing because look, it's an attack from Sudan on a United Arab Emirates plane, but it was carrying Colombian mercenaries. It sounds like a joke, doesn't it? How is that even possible? That Sudan shoots down a plane from an Arab country, from the United Arab Emirates, and then it turns out that on that plane, the people on board were Colombian mercenaries. Obviously, it's a tremendous situation. What are we talking about? What's the issue? According to what this is, the first ones to report it were the state television, right? The state television over there, what's it called? From Sudan, right?
Exactly. The Sudanese Air Force today said that they had destroyed a plane. Some are talking about a helicopter coming from the United Arab Emirates, which was carrying at least 40 Colombian mercenaries. This was confirmed by Sudan state television, and the attack happened during landing at Nyala Airport, located in South Darfur, an area controlled by the Rapid Support Forces, a Sudanese paramilitary group. For several days now, people in Sudan have been warning about this, that the government of the United Arab Emirates is hiring Colombian mercenaries to fight in the war there in Sudan.
That's crazy. So supposedly there were at least 40 Colombian mercenaries there. Colombians. We'll have to see what the Colombian government says about it, what they say, well, what the Colombian media says about it. It will obviously be interesting to see this. But well, what is it like? What does it taste like? Or what is it most like? Well,
a military source said that the device had been bombed, that they had completely destroyed it. So there won't be anything left there. No one will come out. And so far, no Emirati authority or anyone else has made any comments, nor have the paramilitaries who are collaborating with the government of the Emirates made any comments. The Sudanese army has already accused the United Arab Emirates several times of sending weapons and drones to this paramilitary group through this same airport. Although the Emirates constantly say that it's not them. But in satellite images from the Humanity Research Lab in Bali, show long-range drones made in China. In Yala, which is reinforcing suspicions that there is indeed foreign support to undermine the government of Sudan. And the government of Sudan announced this week that the United Arab Emirates had recruited and financed these Colombian mercenaries. And they claimed that they already had documents as evidence. In other words, it wasn't just words or rumors. They literally had documents from these Colombian soldiers or Colombian mercenaries. And well, the presence of Colombian mercenaries had already been reported in 2024 and was actually confirmed by United Nations experts. So it's not something that's just a rumor.
Just a few minutes ago, President Petro reacted to this saying, well, he had previously mentioned the idea of banning mercenaries in Colombia, questioning their existence and how they have been allowed to operate. They have spread in many areas. I mean, it has been seen that they have been fighting in favor of Russia. In fact, there's a list. There are some pages here from, what's it called? About the Russia-Ukraine topic. They keep adding the names and faces of each person who has died. Attacking Ukrainians on Russia's side. There have also been Colombians who have been supporting Ukraine. So? Well, yes, it's intense. What they're analyzing, from what I'm seeing, is that they might request the repatriation of the bodies by the Colombian government. But are you saying it's intense? So the idea is going to be to ban that, let's say, mercenary work. And also among the requests for bodies, the interest from families, it's a very intense issue. And now, what interest does the United Arab Emirates have in Sudan? That would be a good question, because Sudan, yes, indeed, has had several problems with several Arab countries. Sudan, we have to remember that lately there have been some accusations from Sudan against the United Arab Emirates of arming and financing the Rapid Support Forces. Do you remember that it's basically in a civil war? The Sudanese, and the group that has caused them problems precisely, is the Rapid Support Forces group. And were they friends of theirs, by the way? The paramilitary group currently fighting the National Army. And they used to be friends, and together they overthrew the previous dictator. The thing is that since 2023, they rebelled because they said, hey, now you're the government. We used to be two rebel groups fighting to overthrow a dictator, but now you've become the government. In theory, we were supposed to share power, and you're not sharing it, so you're not sharing it. So the Rapid Support Forces, supposedly backed by the Emirates, well, they're getting weapons from there, and they're trying to overthrow the current government, and supposedly they're being sent mercenaries as part of that support. March 6th, 2025. Sudan has already filed a lawsuit with the International Court of Justice accusing the United Arab Emirates of violating the Genocide Convention and supporting the RSS military.
And what about May 5th, 2025?
The court declared that it did not have jurisdiction to resolve the case, so it just stayed there and nothing happened. Sudan announced the severance of diplomatic relations with the Emirates in May, and it declared the United Arab Emirates as aggressors and imposed restrictions such as the expulsion of diplomats. And, well, they just had a plane shot down. That's not a small thing, so obviously that's a big deal.
Exactly. As mentioned, there have been ongoing accusations of mercenaries from Colombia involved in the situation. They are in Ukraine, Afghanistan, and Haiti. I mean, they really are very
spread out. They're very extensive. And,
well, and Africa already.
Of course, the River of Africa. Well, so this Renato, I mean, I don't have to, he recognizes me from Afghanistan if you've already seen this and this. Yes, yes, yes. Wow, that's incredible. It's really incredible. These are rare to see. What's this one called? Let's see if I can put it here. Is this image of what's happening?
They're floods. That's what's happening right now in Coast Province because of, well, rains.
In Afghanistan.
The situation in Afghanistan has already led to numerous casualties and significant economic losses. Unfortunately, Afghanistan is currently in a dire situation regarding, in a short period, malnutrition among children increased, and these issues continue to impact them.
Well, the exact amount of economic loss or the number of victims isn't known, but the province of Coast is now facing intense flooding. This is strange to see because it's a desert area. And well, that's the situation. Let's move on to other important matters.
Well, today, Pepe told you that Steve Witkoff, the person in charge of trying to have a better conversation with Vladimir Putin, saw him. There wasn't a meeting, and well, today, President Donald Trump says that he has already planned a face-to-face meeting with Vladimir Putin, and he also wants Zelensky at the same table. He revealed it today. He wants this to happen next week.
Let's listen. Finishing the journey. That journey was long and still is, but there's a good chance there will be a meeting very soon.
Well, Trump's proposal includes a possible summit, which he's talking about, a trilateral summit with President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders. He also wants Vladimir Putin on this call because before Steve Witkoff's meeting with Putin, he also spoke with Zelensky, which you already mentioned, also with European leaders. Trump is moving forward with his plans, which...
Obviously, it has to be said, he's doing things right. I mean, let's see. Also, he frequently criticizes Donald Trump and his team, who accuse him of constantly criticizing Trump. However, he denies that he's always criticizing Trump. You criticize when things are done badly, and when things are done well, you have to say it. And what am I referring to? That he made mistakes on many occasions? Let's see. Why should I say it? Because when you talk to one, you have to talk to the other at the same time, if possible. If you talk to Putin, you must also talk to Zelensky, and vice versa. This applies not only to them, but also to Europe. Well, Europe has been putting up most of the money. In fact, they're taking on more risk than the United States, so you have to talk to Europe. They're your partners. Are you part of NATO? So right now they're doing all that at the same time, and now it really feels like they're operating now. Whether it's going to work out, I don't know. That's not clear, obviously, but at least it seems like they're finally playing chess. He seemed interested in playing chess, but would abruptly leave the table before a real game could start, which didn't make sense. That's why when the call ends, Vladimir Putin scratches his head about the bombing. We must now observe what transpires in the coming hours today. When we're watching this live, maybe it will be happening tomorrow. If there's a massive bombing in Ukraine, does that mean the money didn't matter? If there isn't, then there's something more interesting going on. Who knows what's going to happen, but at least a path is being taken as it should be, listening to other voices. And I think we can see that here too. What Trump is learning on the go, also because he puts inexperienced people in, he's learning on the go, or is he desperate to have some good news in our conflicts? And what about the Einstein issue and all the issues he's dealing with right now? And since this is weighing heavily on Trump's government, this could give him a break.
Exactly. I mean, it does fit. Does the war in Ukraine mean that it will never come up in the files? Epstein, well, that's fine, right?
If you achieve something that seems impossible, well, many things will likely be forgiven in the future. I don't know about the Epstein thing, but at least I do think it could be interesting. Now, if he pulls this off and manages to get the Israeli hostages released, well, no. He'd end up with the Nobel, he'd finish the year with the Nobel. If not just the Iran thing, well, that would be kind of weird, because he just bombed Iran, that's all. But that's the point. Are they trying to do something different? This time we'll see if there's real progress. I doubt it, but we have to be there.
That's what you say. If we see that there's an attack on Ukraine, well, we already know it was just lowering the tension, but, well, there was also just an attack on Odessa. Right now, I don't know. We'll see what happens today as well. Zelensky caught my attention because I saw him being very positive, saying that he did see a change in Vladimir Putin's attitude. I don't know where he sees it. I imagine it's in intelligence. But
well, the thing is that something is happening. Something positive is happening on this topic. And, well, it's even strange to talk about it because we're not used to it after several years of war. We're not used to seeing positive signs in this situation, but right now they're starting to
show up. Exactly. Also, remember that Turkey has already offered, it's been about 2 weeks that they've been offering their country to host this meeting. Well, the Europeans, when Trump told them about the plan, they said, well, let's see if it happens, right? Because, well, the situation does look difficult. Yes, but Turkey said they assured Vladimir Putin that he would be safe because, well, one issue is Vladimir Putin's paranoia, right?
Of course. I mean, yes. I mean, doesn't he feel that maybe someone could betray him or some kind of dangerous situation, right? Well, that's it for now. It'll be interesting to see the three of them together. Is it going to be
truly historic?
Historic to see them there? Well, Zelensky, Putin, and Trump, just imagine. I mean, would it surpass that famous image of seeing Trump, the American president, with Kim Jong-un, who was also like that? One thing was impossible for there to be a meeting between the president of North Korea and the president, that a
president of the United States would visit
North. That when he crosses that line, I'm like, what is this character doing? It's the
thing about disruptive characters. They do things you'll never see in others.
That you won't expect. Here, there could be something totally different. In this view, let's see what happens. Let's move on to other important matters.